elephant in the room. That because the draft had always been in New York. Do you remember the moment where maybe it was you or an advisor or an owner that said, guys, let's move this around the country?
Still about 3 or 4 years ago, as you know, we had it at the Radio City, and they actually had a spring event that actually prevented us from having it. And I said, well, there we go. Now we don't have a decision to make. We're leaving. So now let's go take this on the road and make it happen. And Chicago did a great job, really raised the bar. And then obviously Philadelphia took it to a new level. And I'm confident that this is going to be even in a higher bar. It's just incredible, the enthusiasm.
Oh, it's palpable. Now, I know how you select Super Bowl sites. How do you select the draft?
Well, Con, it's a really good question because we just talked about it a little bit in the last week because we have over 20 cities that are interested in hosting the draft in the future. We have 400,000 people registered to attend this one.
Wow.
Cities are really vying for it. So I think it'll eventually, it has been a decision of the commissioner. I think it'll likely go to the floor and be voted on in the future because it is such a valuable asset, which is a tribute to the fans' passion, quite honestly.
By the way, I'm going to be, for the first time in my life, I'm going to be in a war room. I'm going to be in the L.A. Chargers war room. I don't think I've been this excited in my career. I cannot wait.
Just don't make a pick, okay, Colin?
Listen, I am going to shout things. I hope they're ready for me, Commissioner, because I've got suggestions. So it's great. Great hearing from you, Commissioner.
It's great to hear from you, and have a great few days. It's going to be exciting.
Car shopping can be confusing. Dealer price, list price. Here's what's not. Save $3,000 off MSRP. TrueCar.com. I have been on the phone all morning with scouts, and Baker Mayfield appears to be headed number one, unless it's a total smokescreen. Mary Kay Cabot, who reports for Cleveland, has it. Daniel Jeremiah is joining us. Rod Strickland, Brett Brown, coach of the Sixers. We have a great, we're only halfway through our show. So here's the thing about the NBA playoffs, and this is the way it's been for the 40 years I've been watching it. There's the regular season is one season, and then the playoffs are a different season. And the intensity in the playoffs is different. You play the same team for 7 games. The refs allow more physicality in the playoffs. And I'm just going to speak for guys now. Some guys like physicality and some guys curl up. I was told this years ago by an NFL scout. He said, listen, man, talent wins in high school and college football. You got to be a man to play in the NFL. Do you have it in your soul to burrow through another man's chest for 3 hours? Because he's going to be your equal. In college, a big kid will overwhelm people. In high school, a big kid will just bully people. Sheer strength. In the NFL, he's as strong as you, he may be older than you, and he's not intimidated by you. NFL is upstairs. So is the NBA playoffs. The refs let more go. Therefore, it becomes a man's season. Are you going to handle a guy pushing on you, poking you, talking to your ear? A guy, it's different. And what happens in the playoffs, there's risers and there's sinkers. And Indiana's a sinker. And Toronto's a sinker. And Milwaukee's a sinker. And Washington's a sinker. And Atlanta got 3 chances and whiffed each one against LeBron. They're a sinker. And Indiana should be winning this series. LeBron is totally on the ropes. Last night, Indiana shot a much better field goal percentage, had more assists, more steals, more fast break points, more points in the paint, and lost. And had the game. Led, by the way, 10 in the first half, 7 at half, and lost. And LeBron is having as good a series as he's had in years. I mean, the numbers are just absolutely remarkable. And here's my thing, is that I am so over Eastern teams that LeBron isn't on. That's why Philadelphia is so exciting for me. One of the things you find out in the NBA between the risers and the sinkers, the risers, doesn't take them years to get there. Ben Simmons, first playoffs. Oh, he's a riser. Victor Oladipo. Oh, he's a sinker. Victor Oladipo hasn't shown up. Donovan Mitchell, first time in the playoffs. Oh, he's a riser. And by the way, guys that rise in the playoffs, Magic Johnson, they rise early in their career, the middle of their career, Dwayne Wade, and at the end of their career. Doesn't mean they always win the series, but the NBA playoffs are physical. It separates players. And you're going to have risers and you're going to have sinkers. The Eastern Conference, It's a black-white movie. I'm ready for color. It's a movie, and I'm ready for a new plot twist. Like, everybody wants LeBron to go to Philadelphia, and my takeaway is, you think the East is dominated by one guy now? What is it going to be like if you put LeBron with Embiid and Saric and Bellinelli and Ben Simmons? Like, really? That's fascinating to you. I mean, Indiana, I could blast Indiana. They have had this series, but you know what Indiana is? Indiana is Washington. They're Toronto. They're Milwaukee. They're Atlanta. They're Detroit. They're the East. This is just, they've had the baton offered to them several times, and they're sinkers, not risers. Christine with the news.
No. Heard on the news. This is the Herdline News.
New Giants coach Pat Shurmur is saying that.
Ooh.
What?
What is he saying?
You're looking at. You're
well, Pat Shurmur.
already.
This is why I think they should take a quarterback, because Pat Shurmur's a really good offensive guy.
Then you're not going to like all of this. There's
what's
a
he
couple
saying?
parts to it. Okay. He's saying that Eli Manning is the best-looking 37-year-old he's ever seen. And Eli Manning is responding to that saying, well, 37s are not really that old.
I guess he hadn't been around too many 37-year-olds maybe. So no, I feel good. I feel I'm moving around well. I feel always work on my flexibility and my conditioning and all season lifting and everything. So haven't relaxed from that in any sense. So I know I need that to kind of keep up with these other guys. So but I feel good in that sense and got to keep it that way. 37 is not old. I think 37 is young. So it's all perspective.
Before we get to the whole who should the Giants take in the draft thing, I think that it's hard to consider age with quarterbacks now that we have Tom Brady performing like he does at 40 years old and with the kale pajamas, as you would put it.
This is interesting, Christine, because I was talking to somebody for this draft, and I said, God, it's amazing how good Drew Brees is and Tom Brady is. And you know what they said, Christine? It's really thoughtful.
What?
They said about 5 years ago, Huddles left the NFL. Mm-hmm. They left all college football. And he said, that is benefiting the old guys. Because young guys come in and they're like, man, this game is fast. Oh, I don't get Huddles? He said Eli and Breeze and Brady and Ben, he goes, they've mastered the craft now. They can literally go to the line. They've seen every defense. And he said, what you're seeing happening in the NFL now is all these guys are looking at Tom and they're like, you know what? I can play. Just give me offensive linemen. I can play till 43, 44. And he said the no huddle has been a huge gift to veteran quarterbacks who do homework because it is really separating wheat from the chaff. These young kids are not only overwhelmed by the NFL, but they don't have a huddle. They can't go and take a breath. The league is so fast now that the Elis, it's an easier game for him. Now, I will say, of all the old guys, he's my least favorite old guy.
You consider him an old... Well, he's an old guy. 37's not that old.
Okay, I'll grant you that. It's not as old as it used to be.
Right,
For instance,
it's younger
I
now.
eat quinoa and kale. So I'm 54, but I'm probably 47.
Oh.
Whereas
and
if my wife wasn't vegan, I ate burgers and drank bourbon for breakfast, I'd be like 64 instead of 50. So you can make the argument that if you eat right, you exercise, you're smart, you take advantage of nutritional opportunities in today's America, that you can be younger than 37. You can be 37 going on 33. Brett Favre played hard, partied hard, lived hard. Brett was his age.
Yeah, he was an older 37.
Yeah, he was.
Like Eli looks
12.
You think so? I think he looks older than 37.
Boy,
maybe because they just like with Peyton.
Well, they're not gonna take a quarterback. I do think it's interesting though, Christine. If Cleveland takes Baker Mayfield.
Okay, wait. So before you get to that, so that's my next story. The Giants are reportedly expected to take Saquon Barkley at number 2.
A running back. Okay.
Yes. But if Sam Darnold is available at number 2, would this be a huge mistake?
Yes. You take Sam Darnold. And by the way, Sam is young. He only really had one great high school year, 2 years at USC. This is the perfect excuse. You go to Eli and say, Eli, he's not ready to start in this league. But he's ridiculous. He's our next Eli. We're going to sit him down for a year and a half, 2 years. Rosen's ready to play. Baker, actually, as limited as I think he is ready to play. He's an older kid. Darnold, you can make the argument. that he could really use Eli for a year, catch up to the tempo. I don't think that's a terrible thing. But if you're the Giants and you pass on him, I don't want to hear in 2 years when this is a dysfunctional organization and Eli's not playing well. I don't want to hear because you had your opportunity.
I agree with you. And finally, do you remember it was 27 years ago when Brett Favre, we're thinking about the draft, and you have a really good memory of that Rain Man kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
So 27 years, you should remember this. Brett Favre had a picture when he took the call from the Falcons that they had drafted him in the second round.
Yeah.
And it was on his bed in jorts, surrounded, you know what jorts are, right?
Yeah.
Surrounded by all of his friends. So your guy Baker Mayfield recreated it.
Let me see it.
Here it is. Baker Mayfield in jorts. These are more stylish jorts.
I gotta think that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah. Wow. You said something nice about Baker Mayfield. So he actually tweeted to Brett Favre this picture, and he said, "Good luck tonight." Or I'm sorry, Brett Favre replied to Baker Mayfield, said, "Good luck tonight, and remember to send my jorts back tomorrow."
Yeah, that's Baker didn't have time to memorize the Chargers playbook, but he's got time to play around on
really?
Instagram.
Did we discuss? I sent you. Hold on a minute. I sent you a text last week. You didn't even give me the courtesy of an emoji.
What was the text?
You didn't remember?
I get 30 of them, 50 of them a day.
Thank you. I'm that not special.
What did you say?
I get 30 texts. I can't keep track of you.
Hold on, what is it?
Yeah, go ahead, search through your texts.
I don't see it.
We have time.
I don't see it.
Just up in the search button, just scroll down. You can press search and search my name. Starts with a K.
Okay, hold on. Let me do this real quick. This is really bad radio. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Yeah, I didn't respond to that. That was stupid.
What?
I have it here. I didn't like that.
Well, you could at least give me a thumbs down emoji.
I don't like that text.
Wow, Colin, I took time out of my day to send you a text because I wanted you to be informed because you said something that was misinformed.
All right.
And I wanted to make sure that you didn't say it again.
I would be more informed.
I wanted you to be more informed because it was possible that this would come out further. And I was trying to help you.
All right.
And I don't even get a response.
That's terrible for me.
Or an emoji.
Christine, the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Line
Don't be that guy in the room with
News.
a long, sloppy-looking untucked shirt. Untucked shirts are made to fall to perfect length. GQ called it perfection. Untuckit.com. Untuckit.com. Promo code HERD, H-E-R-D, for 20% off. I'm glad they're finally using the code HERD, H-E-R-D. For years they didn't. Now they are. Okay, so Rod Strickland's coming up. Played in the NBA for a long time. Was a great player. Amazing story about Rod Strickland that I'm going to ask him on the set. I don't know if he's ever been asked this before, but he has something in common with only one other basketball player in league history, and that player is Bill Russell. So Rod Strickland, the former Portland Trail Blazer, Spur, Washington Wizard, is a great NBA player. And he has something in common with an NBA player, Bill Russell. And it's the only story I've heard it about both. And I think it's the only two NBA players in the history of the sport that I've heard this about. How's that for a tease? The second thing is, let's talk LeBron for a second. So last night, LeBron was amazing. He has played virtually a perfect series. He's getting nothing. J.R. Smith was 0 for 8. Kevin Love's hurt again, 2 for 11. The new guys, Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance and Rodney Hood, combined for 13 points. He's getting nothing. I just want to, again, double down on this. This is the worst roster he has had. People look at the year 2007 when he got that team to the finals and they say that was a terrible roster. Look at that roster and look at the current roster, playoff averages. That one's better. And it should be noted now, with a three-point shot and more possessions, you should always, even if the same player, should score more now and have more assists because there's just more possessions. Everybody's getting triple-double now. Markelle Fultz played 25 minutes and got a triple-double. The triple-double is much easier to accomplish than when Magic was doing it and when Oscar was doing it. The game is faster. There are more possessions. You're just getting the ball more, and point guards now run the league. It used to be bigs. So a guy like, John, they have the ball so much more than they used to. They take more shots than they used to, and they have more opportunities for assists than they used to. But here's the thing about LeBron. Whether you like it or not, last time LeBron left, there was this indignation, this outrage. There were tears, and there were burning jerseys. Okay. I don't want to see it this time. I'm not interested in all the burning jersey stuffs. Here's what we know about the Cavaliers. Before LeBron, they were the worst team in the league. LeBron comes in for 7 years. They win the division twice. For 5, they get into the playoffs. He leaves, they're garbage again, win 31% of their games, comes back, 4 seasons, 3 final appearances. So we have a trend here. You were a doofus before you met her. You were awesome when she was with you. She left you, you were a doofus again. She comes back, you're amazing again. She's going to leave you again. Now, you're not perfect, by the way, and nor is she. But before she arrived in your life, you were a loser. Now, when you came, you still weren't winning the league, but, boy, you shaped up. You were in better shape. You had more of a social life. People respected you. She got tired of you not living up to her standards, so she left, and people were outraged. How can she do it? She's a bad person. Oh, wait, she went and succeeded and was number 1. Hooked up with a guy that was amazing, and you went back to being a loser. And then she came back, and they played a song, which John Goulet plays coming home, and it was so amazing. She came back to save you again, and once again, she won you a championship, and you got to the final. Now, she's a little needy. I'm not going to deny that. She can be disruptive. But she's going to leave again in about a week, and you're going to once again be a loser. This time, I don't want you burning her jersey.
So what's your point, though?
My point is, when she leaves you, I want you to rename Cleveland LeBron, Ohio. And I want the Browns to become the Cleveland Bronze. And I want statues worshiping her. And I want a gallery and a museum, a shrine to her.
You're saying that a guy who's been broken up with 3 times because he's a loser, as you put it.
Every time she leaves him.
That is harsh,
well, but
by the way.
Maybe
he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Okay. You want this guy to then put up statues of this woman who broke his heart multiple times?
Yeah.
You want him to put up statues
because he never understood how valuable and important she was. So she has the right to elevate to a higher grade of guy.
You don't think that the Cavs know how valuable LeBron is? Please. They let him make every single personnel decision. They let him fire coaches.
Yeah.
They know.
Well, sometimes she told him to get a haircut, lose weight, have better friends, and get your act together. That's the price of dating great people. By the way,
that says more about her than him.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Let's show a picture of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. When he leaves, this is what I want. Long live Braun, right out in front. The Cleveland Bronze.
Why does that look like the Louvre?
LeBron, Ohio. Statues. Coming up next, Rod Strickland, top of next hour. Former NFL scout Daniel Jeremiah, Brett Brown, coach of the Sixers. We got a great show, hour and a half left. Using TrueCar, you can easily find the car you want. I've been talking about that for several years. You know that. But with True Price from TrueCar, you avoid the utter confusion you encounter online. You get the great price you can count on before you visit the dealership. And they include fees and accessories, so True Car is going to show you what other people in your area paid for the car you want. True Price will tell you exactly what you will pay. There's 3 million cars on the road that have been sold to True Car users through the True Car Certified Dealer Network. There are over 15,000 True Car certified dealers nationwide. On average, save $3,000 off the car you buy, new or used. You just want to be more confident when you go to the certified network. New or used, TrueCar.com. Some features not available in all states.
It's back.